Welcome to Hug Nation. My name is John Halcyon Stinn, and I have so much I want to share today. This week, this chapter of my life has been an experience of massive synchronicities. I can't remember what the quote is, but there's something about one of the signs that you are heading towards enlightenment is the increase of synchronicities. So I'm not saying I'm on the path to enlightenment. I'm just noticing more of the synchronicities that I'm sure are always there. So let me set the stage. This last weekend, I was lucky enough to speak to a group of graduating seniors. It was a group of seniors that are part of a service organization from many different schools in San Diego. And they've been doing it for several years, and this was their kind of graduation experience. And so I was the keynote at this ceremony. And it was a packed gymnasium, and it was a really cool experience, and I was just so grateful. That opportunity was booked for me. My first real official booking through a speakers bureau was booked through the speakers bureau that books Eric Wall. Eric Wall is a good friend I've known for many years. He has a site called theartofvision.com. And in the last year, I've known him for many years, but in the last year I kind of reconnected and saw how amazing his speaking career has been, and we touched base, and so he was giving me advice. And then when they got contacted, this seemed like a perfect gig for me, so they actually booked me for it. It was very cool. Okay, it keeps getting cooler. So in less than a month, Eric's book is coming out. So I was sent a screener copy of his book that's coming out called Unthink. Rediscover your creative genius. It even says uncorrected proof, not for sale. How cool is that? I feel like, I'm on the list. I know the DJ. I know the writer and artist. So I start reading the book, and I'm not very far into it, but it's a book about integrating art and business. And as I'm reading just the very beginning of this book, he's talking about how, as he pursued a business career, he felt that it wasn't inspiring the artistic part of who he was. So he kind of left that and went to his art community and started hanging out with artists. And he found that they also didn't have the same anchor to the system of the world that kind of felt like. So he didn't feel like he was quite at home in either one. And so he finally was like, wait a minute, I'm a fan and believe and I'm recharged by all of these things. And so, or both of these things. And so that's the course of the book is finding that place of integration of these two things. And it's like, okay, that's exactly the chapter that I'm in right now. As I've just started working at a new company, I've become a partner at a new, not even company, a movement. And the big overall part of this chapter for me is integrating spirit and business and art. And can I take all these things that I talk about in Hug Nation and apply them to a corporate setting? And to do that, I've had to make some compromises. I've had to spend much less time doing Hug Nation things and much less time doing First Saturday things. I'm doing what I have to keep those things going because they're very important to me, and my company understands that. But instead of being a full-time job, for me, those are like what I do when I can. The rest of the time I'm dedicated to this company. And I feel like it's important because I feel like that is an evolutionary step. Can I take this stuff that it's like, in the monastery, yes, I can have peace. Can I have peace in the supermarket? Can I have peace when there's in traffic? Can I take these Hug Nation, loving, positivity tools and go from applying them to my day-to-day life in my Burning Man community and elements of coaching, and can I apply them instead to what is known for being a more traditional corporate world? And it's amazing how lucky I feel that this group that recruited me and has invited me in to be a partner with them is very dedicated to this idea of a company acting from a place of integrity. And the synchronicity of all that blows me away. Here I am, this speaking engagement, this book that's coming out right away, this chapter that I'm in my life, the way it's all connected, it's like, oh my gosh. Okay, clearly that is today's topic for Hug Nation. And it's something that I've been thinking about a lot lately. I was at the Burner Bazaar recently, and I was talking with an artist there. And at first they were frustrated that they were not making a lot of sales at this event. And it was an event really for and by burners. And I don't know if I may get some flack for this perspective, but I think it's a little optimistic to believe that the Burning Man or gypsy culture can support itself within itself. I think that it needs to branch out and pull in resources from outside of that culture. Often to truly commit to that culture and be an artist, you need to let go of the ways that you acquire resources in the default world. So in order to keep the resources in your world, you need to find people who are traditionally getting resources and say, would you like to, can I charge you, a real fee for this art, for this coaching, for this yoga or whatever. Within the community, everyone's eager to barter and trade, and that's beautiful as well. But at some point, I think if you are trying to do that, you're making jewelry, at some point you have enough bodywork hours traded, you have enough paintings that you've traded, you have enough aura readings or whatever these services are that everyone's trying to do in the community and trading them back and forth. You need to then start exchanging it for currency that you can use to pay your rent, buy art supplies, etc. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's the way it should be. In fact, there is a huge value in being a bridge, in allowing people, in gifting people who are spending extra resources in the status quo world of money making, who don't have the same amount of time at this stage in their decisions to dedicate to being more gypsy-like. And so it's worth it to take some of the resources that they've earned in that path and pay for the thing that draws them and connects them to that energy of art and freedom and whatever it is that is important to them but is not being expressed on a full-time basis. So one of the things that this artist said, he said, people here appreciate my art, but they don't need it in the same way that someone who is working full-time might need my art. They might need this picture to be like, yeah, okay, this is more who I am. This job is what I do. And it's a very difficult thing to make who you are what you do. Many of the artists that I spoke to at this event, they have jobs outside of this. This creation process of clothes or jewelry or art is what they do because they must, and it drives them, it makes their spirit soar. But if they depended on that to pay their rent, they would also be bitter and frustrated and in that dangerous place of commodifying your art to the point where you need to sell it to survive, because then your art is overlapped with commerce and need so much that you can't be expressing fully. I mean, you can, and people do, but it is a huge discipline of integrity to be like, okay, even if I can't make rent, I'm not going to compromise my expression at all in this moment. That's hard. And so there is, I think, this middle ground of trying to find work that is in integrity, but is maybe not what you would do if you were, fabulously wealthy. You might not still do it, but work is important, discipline is important, and it gives you the resources so that you can relax and do your art. And then that art, maybe it gets to a point, maybe after your 10,000 hours and your mastery of it, that you actually can make a living doing it without getting too much into compromise. And many people do that. And I think it's a beautiful goal. Many artists and musicians, body workers, and those sorts do that full time without any concern about how they're going to make money. They just know that they'll be in integrity and do their best and align with love, and the resources will come. And we should all make that part of the vision of where we want to be. And in the meantime, find some place in the balance that feels comfortable. This is an important thing for me because I identified myself as a bridge for a long time. Meaning there are many people that I encounter on a daily basis, I read about, I follow their blogs, that are far more disciplined and evolved in their spirituality and in their paths of following spirit or yoga or meditation or whatever those things are. Or crystals or body work or whatever, healing, light energy, whatever those many paths, many modalities of spirit may be. But at some point, a lot of those people, as they go into these deep realms of growth, become too far from the vibration of someone who is still in the status quo world. I know that my personal baseline vibration has shifted more into the more woo-woo, weird, whoa, okay, crystals, I can accept that now. Whereas there was a time when I was like, come on. And so I know that everybody is at some place in the line and you can only be pushed so far. And so the role of a bridge, the role of someone who is helping people unthink is important. Important also to recognize that we are not Master Zen guru people. We are in both worlds. We are able to sit into a boardroom meeting and understand the requirements of a business deal and the pressures needed to make a sale, or from a marketing perspective, the compromises that might be made in the short term to try to get to a place long term. And also able to get in alignment with raw, pure expression of artistic creativity. And I think that that's a really important role in the time that we're in right now. I think that if you're drawn to this message right now, you are probably somewhere on the bridge or a bridge. I think all of us in some ways are bridges to other people. And where you are, this determines what kind of people you can serve as a bridge to. And that, I think, is that really rewarding place that we all really want to be. We want to be on our path of growth, learning from those who can help us and helping those who can learn from us. And that flow of pulling people up, being pulled up, pulling people up, being pulled up. Sometimes pulling people up, passing them on. You go. I'm going to stay here right here. This is my comfort zone as the bridge. And that's kind of where I feel right now. At this place right now with you, enjoying this bridge party. Thanks for being a part of this bridge party. Because this bridge party, it is so thick with love. That supporting, loving place that allows wherever you are on your journey to kick down to the funky beat and enjoy the groove with your brothers and sisters. I'm so glad you're on the bridge. I love you. Let's have a hug. Wherever you are, grab yourselves by the shoulders and acknowledge that you are exactly where you are supposed to be on the path. You are a teacher to many. You are a student to many. You are perfect. And as we encounter people that may intimidate us or inspire us or frustrate us, know that they are all exactly where they are supposed to be too. And the more that we can tune into what our truth is and our right place on the bridge is, the more of service we can be to everyone in the ripples that come off of our actions and the way we live. It is not our job to be concerned with how those ripples are received. It is our job simply to act in a place of truth and integrity and love so that those vibrations have no choice but to just ripple off us. You'll find those ripples will attract people vibrating at the same place. You'll find those ripples bring abundance. And they will realign you when you get off track. Take take a moment of appreciation for all those that can hear my voice right now, live or in archive, who are living, making choices from that place and letting those ripples spread out as a gift to all the people in their world and the world at large. Let's take 3 breaths together and let those vibrations just amplify one another. In through the nose. On behalf of Grandpa Caleb and all the Love Warriors, happy Hug Nation. Thank you for being you. I love you. I love who you are. I love who you're becoming. I'm so inspired by the light you shine in the world. Thank you. Namaste.